Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into something today that, let's be honest, hits very close to home for all of us. We're unpacking a really profound philosophical framework written by Shifeng in early 2024, and it's all about navigating the universal human experience of absolute helplessness. We've all been there, right? That moment where you feel completely stuck, totally cornered, with literally nowhere to turn. Well, this explainer is going to break down exactly what that state is, why it happens, and most importantly, give us a structured, actionable mindset to help navigate our way out of it. Let's just jump right in, shall we? So we're kicking things off with part one, the universal trap. And the subtitle really says it all. No one escapes helplessness. Okay, let's dive into this. Think about it for a second. Every single one of us has dreams. We all want that amazing life filled with joy, happiness, immense freedom, and deep fulfillment. But despite those beautiful aspirations, almost everyone eventually hits a massive, unyielding wall. We call this the great equalizer effect. On one side, you have the so-called elite. We're talking emperors, presidents, billionaire entrepreneurs, top-tier experts. And on the other side, you have everyday, ordinary people. Yet both paths lead to the exact same box at the bottom, a state of absolute helplessness. I mean, throughout history, emperors have hung themselves, presidents have been assassinated, billionaires have jumped off buildings, and brilliant professors have taken their own lives. These aren't just dramatic stories. They are true historical reflections of the helpless state. Wealth, status, intellect, they do not buy you a pass out of this universal human experience. Ordinary people are no exception, and neither are the elites. And when you hit that absolute rock bottom, it literally feels exactly like this text right here. The heavens do not respond to your calls, and the earth does not heed your cries. Have you ever felt that? Just total silence? In these darkest moments, pleading with other people for a lifeline, or even praying to a higher power, often proves utterly useless. No matter what strategy you try to deploy, you find yourself cornered. You simply cannot escape the predicament through conventional cries for help. Which brings us to a slightly uncomfortable realization in part two, the illusion of control. Swept by the tides of the times, we all kind of walk around every day thinking we're the captains of our own ships, steering our own destinies. But to truly understand helplessness, we have to look at our foundational circumstances. You did not choose your parents. As much as you might have wanted to as a teenager, you didn't choose the era you were born into, the environment you were raised in, your physical appearance, or your ethnicity. People have absolutely no right to choose these foundational pillars of their existence. And because we're powerless to change these starting conditions, we are essentially pushed by the tides of our era. We get swept from peaks of excitement straight down into valleys of despair, constantly swayed by the world around us. Our control? It was basically an illusion from day one. And that lack of control extends right into the sudden disasters that can strike at literally any moment. When a landslide engulfs loved ones, we are powerless. When floods surge and submerge homes, we are helpless. When you are struck by a severe illness with no one around to care for you, all you can do is endure it. If you're caught in an escapeless war zone or drowning in unmanageable, crushing debt, these events leave a person physically and mentally exhausted. I really want you to feel the emotional weight of this. These are inescapable events that just happen, completely overriding any plans we thought we had made. And this brilliantly illustrates the core historical reality of our human condition. The text says, for thousands of years, only a few have truly achieved these aspirations. The vast majority either struggle in the bitter wind and rain or are overwhelmed. It's a pretty heavy realization about the human struggle, isn't it? We're out there battling the turbulent waves, and far too often, it leads to sinking. So when you are in that bitter wind, when you're facing that unmanageable debt or an inescapable crisis, what can actually be done? The source text poses this massive, paradigm-shifting question: why accept fate? The immediate answer the text provides is remarkably blunt, because there's no alternative. But why? If we just accept it, doesn't that mean giving up? Actually, scratch that. It's not about giving up at all. Let's look deeper into what this actually means. To answer why we must accept it, we move to part three, the laws of fate, understanding the universal paradigm. We are going to shift our perspective entirely right now. Now, what's really interesting about this part of the framework is how it redefines the very concept of fate. Fate isn't some arbitrary punishment handed down by an angry universe. According to Shufeng's framework, everything is self-created. It's the inevitable result of choices made over multiple lifetimes, all tangled up with our own haphazard and misguided efforts in this current life. You aren't just some random victim. Your situation is a self-created inevitability. When we start to explore the mysteries of the universe through this lens, we find that absolutely everything follows strict laws and principles. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is accidental or random. Every single thing that happens to you is inevitable. Understanding this is a massive key to unlocking your helpless state because it forces us to realize that our predicament, no matter how terrible, is ultimately of our own making. The universe is completely impartial. As the framework notes, heaven does not spare anyone nor unjustly harm anyone. It is a perfectly balanced equation. Realizing this profound impartiality strips away all of our victimhood. When we stop feeling like we were unjustly targeted by a cruel world, the fog finally lifts. Understanding this allows us to see the path our lives should actually take, rather than the path we desperately tried to force. Which brings us to the most important part. Part 4, the 3-part solution, escaping the abyss. Let's move to and see how this builds. Because if you are exhausted, if you are completely cornered, there is a concrete, structured way out. It just requires a very specific shift in mindset and action. The source provides a precise trinity of required behaviors. Step 1, accept fate. Step 2, maintain gratitude. Step 3, take action. Now, I know it sounds super simple, but the execution, that requires immense mental discipline. Let's break down exactly how these work together. Think about what most of us do when we're cornered. We blame. We blame heaven, the earth, our boss, the economy. But the text explicitly warns that this only worsens the situation and breeds deep resentment. The alternative? Thanking heaven, earth, and the creator. Accepting fate without blame is the absolutely crucial first step. You must maintain a calm, peaceful mindset and joyfully accept your reality. By holding on to a heart full of gratitude, you keep yourself entirely free from the poison of resentment. And that is what opens up an actual chance of escape. Once your mindset is clear of blame and totally filled with gratitude, you move to step 3, take action. You can't just sit there on the couch. You have to do your absolute utmost to find a way out of the helpless situation. The philosophy here is that by combining peaceful acceptance with relentless, positive action, the universe responds. Heaven may actually guide you out of your troubles, or perhaps even send someone along the way to help you. But that help only arrives when you do your utmost from a place of unresentful acceptance. So the crucial point here is this final, incredibly powerful thought. Resentment will only make things worse. Gratitude is the best remedy for overcoming hardship. The next time you find yourself struggling in the bitter wind and rain, I want you to remember this framework. Strip away the blame, realize the impartial nature of the universe, and work with literally everything you have to move forward. Think about a current struggle you have right now in your own life. If you stopped fighting the reality of it and instead found genuine gratitude for the lesson, what concrete actions could you finally take to escape the abyss?